Hi, my name is Mike Arce, CEO of Loud Rumor, an organization that helps fitness studios all over the world grow and be more successful. I'm also the host of Top Fitness Business Podcast, the GSD Show, and your host on this podcast as well. And the goal of this podcast is to help you stay informed on some good ideas that your fitness studio can implement to succeed during this pandemic. And today I'm here joined by Matt Kafora. Matt, say hi to everybody.
Hello, hello.
So you and I were just talking on the phone. We were sharing ideas because you're one of the more creative people I've ever met in pre-sale, outside of pre-sale, just in general with your businesses. And you've got several businesses doing extremely well right now. Obviously, you got a little bit of tightness, just like every other person in the fitness space, because it's a different world right now with this pandemic. So you got 7 fitness studios right now. Now you're in a unique position because in the franchise that you're a part of, you're not able to necessarily draw any revenue out of and charge clients, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So what that really means is the things that you would do or want to do, you've been more advising your consulting clients to do, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and I was hearing the ideas and I was like, man, this is like he's basically running the guerrilla marketing pre-sale plays in a lot of ways. But one idea I really liked in particular was how you're finding a way to create win-win with the people that are kind of losing together in this situation. So you were talking about how do I get the word out mostly with other people that would obviously love to join in. So talk to me through that idea.
For sure. So a lot of companies and a lot of businesses right now are hosting virtual workouts, right? So all of their members are completing the workouts via a Zoom call or Facebook Live or a multitude of other platforms, right? So a lot of small businesses are impacted currently. Obviously, the fitness industry and the fitness space being one of the largest, especially in something we hold more dear and dear to our heart because it's our industry. But
Mm-hmm.
other businesses and other business owners that I know very well are in the food and beverage and restaurant industry. So I came up with this idea to have small businesses support small businesses. We're all kind of in this together, right? We're all in the trenches together. So, in fact, one of the members of Loud River that I was advising today, I said, hey, why don't you guys have a local small business, a mom and pop restaurant, be a sponsor for one of your workouts? And they said, well, what does that look like? It's a really good question. What I would do is I would go approach this business, and what I instructed them to do was make sure you give your heart before you ask for their hand. And Mike, what I mean by that is walking into this small business, you don't just want to ask them for something, right? We want to make sure that we can offer them something 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really the sale and the appeal here is I'm a local small business as well. I'm really feeling this during this pandemic here, and I know you guys are as well. The good news is I have 1,200 members that I'm providing virtual workouts to, and I want to be able to help you. Would you be okay if I mentioned you during my virtual workouts? Would you be okay if I used some of your marketing materials and held that up in my virtual workouts to make sure that all of my members in the surrounding 3 to 5 mile radius of my business and yours know that they can come here for healthy meals?
Awesome.
No business owner in the world is going to say no to that, especially a small business owner feeling the pinch. A lot of these business owners in the restaurant space are owner-operators now, going in there, and they're the owners back there cooking the food and walking the food out and dropping it curbside for you. So in doing that, right, so we're walking in there and giving our heart before we ask for their hand. So, of course, they're going to say yes. Oh, my gosh, thank you so much. Hey, you're so welcome. Hey, in return, again, I'm really feeling the pinch right now. Obviously, we're both small business owners. Would you do me a huge, huge favor? Can you staple one of these to every to-go order that you send out? Can you drop one of these in every to-go bag that you send out? And I'm going to hand them a stack of my flyers or door hangers or something of the like. I want to be able to help them and in return have them help me, right? So it makes the most sense. And during that workout, I'm going to let the members know that this was sponsored by, say, Pita Jungle, where I can go around the corner, I'll give the cross streets, whatever it might be, next to the Target, some landmark, and I will let them know you can get your healthy meal here post-workout. Make sure you get out and support your local small business. Hey, you know what's awesome? They even have good stuff for the kids. And I'll mention them 2 or 3 times during my 1 hour long workout. And that marketing for that local small business is absolutely one of the most powerful things that you can do, and talk about the relationship that you're going to develop ongoing with that business. Think about what you're going to do when our doors open back up, because we know this is going to come to an end, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whenever it is, this is going to end. And what we need to do is utilize this time to cultivate, build, and really nurture relationships in this space, because these people are in the same fight that we are. They are forced to close their doors or forced to restrict and limit what they can do and provide for their families. So I want to help them as much as I can, and in return get a little bit of help as well.
Now, the skeptical guy in me, right, because I've never done it, I asked you, I said, how do you know if they're even doing it? And what'd you tell me?
And you seem like everything's a sale, right? And I think really what we do at this point is we appeal to the small business. I'm a small business as well. I own this building right around the corner. I actually can't even open my doors. So you guys can. I'm just trying to get really creative and think outside the box. And I'm going to share with them my story as a small business owner who's really feeling the pressure and really feeling the pinch that's happening right now. And appealing small business. Again, we're in the same fight. We see it all the time on social media with everyone begging for help in these spaces. Let's be a part of the community that can actually provide help. And I think that's something else that we forget is we have the massive draw, and we have the appeal, and we have the member base. We have a lot of presence in this world. We need to make sure that we can utilize that, not only for our members and for our selfish purposes to grow our business, but I think we can actually utilize that to help impact other businesses, especially now. And like I said, the relationship ongoing. So I can appreciate the skepticism for sure. Are they really going to do this? And you know what, Mike, at the end of the day, I don't know. But I can tell you, I'm going to make a very, very strong case and a very strong plea that I'm a small business owner as well. And I'm going to do my part. Maybe I'll even tag them in my group. Maybe I'll invite them to a workout when they're not busy, or I'll give them the pre-recorded workouts. So that way they can actually see me doing it, and maybe that provides a little bit more buy-in for them to actually toss one of these in every to-go bag. But it can't hurt. It's not a lot of extra work for them, and I don't know why they would want to support another local business when I'm doing them a favor. And that's where it comes back to: make sure you give your heart before you ask for their hand, and that's really, really, really important.
Yeah, I love that. And guys, earlier in the podcast, a few episodes ago, I mentioned how fortunate we are in the fitness industry to be able to go virtual, right, compared to barbers and nail salons, massage therapists, and everybody else. But, in this case, like, we got to remember too, there's even people in the fitness studio space that aren't permitted to go virtual. Like in Matt's case, the franchise he's with has, decided that it's best to go with their route, which is pause all billings and, build up the culture along the way. And then inevitably later, I guess they're assuming inevitably, they'll build a really good collection of leads and people that want to be anxious to return and excited. And I don't know if it's wrong or right because I haven't seen the outcome yet. But, in Matt's case, obviously the big thing for you, Matt, is you're like, man, are you looking at all these studio owners that have the ability to go virtual and some of them aren't going all in on it? What do you say to them?
Double down. Now's the time. There's not a lot of other businesses advertising on social media. You don't see the ads for Best Buy, for Walmart, for Target. There's not a lot of retargeting happening on your Facebook and your Instagram and things like that. Now's the time to double down on marketing, because you have the owners who are either going to sit there on their cash reserves and they're going to sit there and watch this money slowly bleed out as they do nothing, or you have the owners who are going to be proactive, and the owners who take on the sense of, responsibility to their staff, responsibility to their families, and they can, take that and they actually double down on their marketing. They do something proactively to drive leads, to generate new members, to toss those members into their community they built, have those members embraced by that community as well, and have some sort of upward trajectory. So that way when the quarantine ends, right, and we come out of this, they're already moving upward and towards something positive, as opposed to the ones that sit there and say, I have to just sit on this cash reserve and do nothing, and we're just going to wait it out. You're going to bleed. You're going to bleed inevitably. So we need to do something proactive, not reactive. And sitting back and doing nothing is absolutely the worst thing you could possibly do right now. if I could, Mike, I would double down on my marketing, or at least keep my marketing going. And I would pivot like crazy to ensure that I could really, really drive leads, drive traffic, and then treat those leads like gold. Everyone's looking for a solution right now. I want to be the solution. Everyone wants the solution for the pandemic, for the economy, for everything bad that's happening, the at-home workouts. I can't do all of that for them, but I can definitely provide the solution for the workout. I can definitely help them build a community, build that sense of happiness. It takes 21 days to create a fitness habit or any other habit. People are quarantined. People are at home. They're looking at social media. Internet usage is sky high now that everyone's home. People are all over social media. Now's the time to get in and market, get a hold of those people, bring them into your community, get them a part of your culture, and nurture that like crazy so that we can come out on the other side on top and not bleeding.
Yeah. And Matt, you're like me where you love to advertise because you understand I've got a good product. I've got to spend money to get it out there and it returns in droves. But it's got, I know because it's killing me, it's got to be killing you when you see another studio owner that's like still in freeze mode and reserved and not really like taking advantage of the low lead costs and the high internet usage.
I want to shake them. I do. I really want to shake them. And I get it, right? So I went through that same, sense of panic, and it's okay. Everyone went through the sense of panic. We were told by the federal government, shut your doors, turn off your main source of revenue and income, and now you have to figure it out. I get it. I get the panic. I was panic stricken myself. Mm-hmm. And then you shake it and you say, okay, what am I going to do? Right. So I go into action mode. And I think that's where some business owners are going. And then, like you said, I think there's some who sit there and freeze and we go into this sense of paralysis. And it's like paralysis does nothing for you. I would rather move forward in some capacity to ensure that I'm doing something to better my position rather than sit back and sit idle. And I just want to shake those that sit back and sit idle because they're doing nothing to help themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it. I was in business. I started my business in the recession, and I remember watching other businesses, and you could see it. There were some businesses that just kind of like waited for it to be over, and that was what I think record breaking in length of like the longest recession, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of them didn't make it, but there were people that just pushed through. I was one of them, and we made through, and a lot of good came out of it for those. Uber came out of it, right? There was a lot of good companies that started in the last recession. So recession doesn't mean you guys can't make money. It just means that this is the time you're going to be challenged at your most. But the cool thing is you find a way to make money here. Once this is over, man, it got easy for me.
Of course, yeah, you're sitting pretty then, right? And all it is being creative and pivoting. So what worked in the past doesn't mean that it's going to work now. You can take a lot of those same principles and theories. You just have to pivot and apply them to the current climate and current circumstance. And you have, companies like Loud Rumor who do that very, very well and who found a way. Mike, you've provided a ton of resource to find that way and to help business owners succeed. And I think if people aren't taking full advantage of everything, the internet's such a huge and powerful thing right now with so many resources and so many opportunities to link up to businesses who understand how to adapt and overcome. If you're not taking full advantage of that, I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, Matt, man, always a wealth of knowledge. We could probably tackle a bunch of stuff, but I like to, with this podcast style, I like to kind of keep it like one idea at a time, which is why we have 61 episodes. I think right now, this is a 60th episode this is a 61st episode right now. So I appreciate you tuning in, man. As always great hanging out with you.
Likewise. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.